I have actually done this in the past. When I first started my YouTube channel, I did a video where I went into an art prompt app on my phone and generated a prompt and then drew that. And that's what I'm going to do today. I have found a really cool app. I've actually found a couple of cool apps, but I want to use this particular one first. I have three that I don't mind. The video that I did years ago was with What to Draw app. It's pretty cool. Like, I don't mind it. So I've got the art prompts and I've also got this Draw It Creative Ideas. The app that I'm going to be using today out of these three is, I've already used this one and I will have the video up here if you want to see that. It's a very old video. But today I'm actually going to be focusing on this one here, the art prompts app. So you can just get it from your app store or Google Play. I got it from Google Play because I have an Android. I'm going to use this one today because it actually has like a horror genre in it, which is pretty cool. This one doesn't. This one's just got like a mythical creatures. So, which I do plan on doing eventually in another video, but today I'm just going to focus on this one. So, you open it up and it has all the prompts. So it's got all prompts. If you click on all prompts, it will combine them all and it'll generate a prompt. So we'll just do an example. There you go. Draw a ghost hunter filming their show. You know, just stuff like that. So yeah, you've got myths and legends, you've got the horror one, which I plan on doing today, you've got sci-fi, fantasy, places, animals, people, yeah. So yeah, I want to do the horror one today. So yeah, it says to hit the button to see what the prompt is. So let's do this. Let's see what the first prompt pops up, and that is what I'm going to be drawing. Now, they're not like specific things. It's more of like a sentence that gives you like a general idea of what to draw. Like I had a look the other day and I hit this button and it just says draw something disturbing. Like that's very general, and I can think of a million things that's disturbing. So it's kind of like that. There's no like proper words like in the other one that I was just talking about, which I will do a video on. This one is just, yeah, it's just like sort of like a sentence, if that makes sense. But anyway, let's press the button and let's see what we get. Draw a room filling up with spiders. I don't know how I feel about that. I said I would do the first one that pops up and I'm not gonna cheat. Actually, I have an idea for that already. Where is my sketchbook? All right, so the idea that's just popped into my head as soon as I read that. Like, these are great things, these prompt apps. If you have some serious art block and you don't know what to sort of draw, I highly recommend these apps because, yeah, your mind, you just start drawing and your mind can just go off to so many places with it, and then it sort of just helps you to get back into drawing, really. So I'm thinking, this is my thought, a bird's eye view, we're looking down above of somebody is laying on the floor, absolutely screaming their little head off. We might even like take their legs out, like their legs have been ripped off or something like that, and they're just screaming, and then all these spiders, we'll just do some really half-assed spiders, are just coming in. They're like all over her, and they're just, even like we do some real big boys. So how it's filling up the room is like they're all coming in from like different sides of the room, and like to me that's like filling up a room with spiders. They're just coming out, and they just got her. They just pinned her down. Her legs are already gone. Because some of the spiders have like come in. That's what I'm thinking. And I like that idea, to be honest with you. For first ideas, I like it. And I think like we'll draw, like I want to draw like a really like just absolutely the foulest spider. Not that you're gonna see. You're not gonna like see this guy like in this much detail from above, but like this can give me a bit of a idea. Like the big, giving a big abdomen. I know we've got the funnel web spiders here in Australia. They're pretty deadly. But I'm sort of thinking that one of the other deadly spiders that we have is a redback spider. Now, redback spider has a red stripe down the back of it, but it's all black. So I might even, I'm thinking of having this. Where's the red pencil? I just want to color it in. I'm thinking of having the redback spider, sort of having that little guy, yeah, having something like that. So from above, we'll see all these little red butts. They don't claim too many lives because people can get to the hospital quick enough. Funnel webs, I think, I don't know, I'm gonna have a look at the statistics. But funnel webs are pretty bad, but they're not here in Queensland where I live. They're more down in New South Wales. These spiders are all over. There's like puddles of blood. That's just a rough idea of what I think I'm gonna do for this prompt. Yeah, draw a room filling up with spiders. Yeah, that's what I think. Just gonna refine this now and put it onto proper paper and see how it comes up. Just a warning, if you have arachnophobia, which means you don't like spiders, like you have a really bad fear of spiders, probably don't recommend watching the rest of this video. I actually showed my mum this picture after I finished it, and she hates spiders, and she shuddered. She was like, "Get that away from me." So I have made 20 copies of it, and I'm gonna put it in her bedroom. This is a truly disturbing piece, I must admit. I was going to make this a little bit different, like initially, but it sort of took this turn where I didn't want to do such a far away shot, like a real far bird's eye view, and that's what I was going to do initially, as you saw in the sketch process that I did. I ended up going with a closer shot. You can tell she's in a room, I suppose, by looking at the floorboards that I create in the background. But yeah, you get I think you still get like an idea that that this is a room, so this room is filling up with spiders, and you sort of have this feeling like there's going to be more spiders coming for this lady. Now, I did get a reference for the pose that she is in, but I didn't get a reference with the hands. I'm actually pretty confident with hands these days. But what I actually did do, and you do sort of see me a bit further back at the beginning of the video, you'll see me doing weird stuff with my hands. What I actually do is I use my own hands for references. And if I can do that, I will. And like, it's a bit weird because usually when because I draw with my right hand, and I wouldn't use my right hand as a reference anyway because it doesn't look like a normal right hand, like a normal hand, but I use my left one, and if I've got to flip it and create a right hand, all I do is I try and do the pose with my hand and then sort of try and flip it in my brain, which is hard, especially if like I've decided to do the hands differently, which I have in this illustration. So yeah, I had to sort of do the pose with my left hand and then sort of flip it for the right hand, which is fine. If I do have any sort of struggles with that, I do get a reference, but I've sort of been trying not to get references on things that I'm pretty sort of confident with now. Yeah, so that's what I've been trying to do. And then another thing that you can do too, if you're gonna keep the hands the same, in the same sort of pose or whatever, the other thing that I do is I get tracing paper and I just trace around the hand and then just flip it and then color in the back and put the it's kind of like a stencil type sort of imprint on the other side. So yeah, that's how I do it anyway. But yeah, I do use my hand in a lot of my illustrations. As you know, like the regulars to my channel will know that I do actually have a series where I have a lot of my left hand in a lot of the illustrations. It's usually like holding some sort of creepy creature like a demon or something like that, because I love doing that sort of stuff. I sort of like making it out like it's me in the picture. Now, I had a big struggle with spiders, drawing them. It took me a while to sort of master it, because I don't think I've ever drawn a spider. I don't think I have. I don't know. I'd have to go back and have a look, but it doesn't ring a bell with me. I could have drawn a spider at one stage. Like I said, I can't remember. But yeah, like I didn't realize how hard they could be. Just a little spider. So, and to make it worse, when I was doing the sketch process in my sketchbook to try and sort of practice doing spiders, I was like drawing the spider, and then like I then went straight in and modified the spider before sort of getting a grip on drawing the bloody things. I went straight in and started like modifying them to what I wanted them to be. So that I sort of put a lot of pressure on myself straight up, and then I sort of just went, stop. You've got to master drawing a proper spider first before you start modifying it. So I sort of did that more, and then I went in and created all these really weird spiders. So you'll see in the sketches of the spiders, I've got these really creepy spiders. They've got like a couple of them have only got like one eye, a couple of them have got these two weird eyes, a few like the other two, three of them I've got all these weird, like a whole heap of eyes all around their heads. Like I just wanted to mix it up and sort of make these really creepy spiders with these really weird human-like eyeballs. And I turned them into redback spiders a bit too, with some sort of like a take from that, and sort of put some white warts on some of them. And then the one up in the top right corner, I call him the king of the spiders. Like he's the leader, he's the one that's got his leg in her mouth and the one around her hand that's been like sliced off, because he's sort of pulling her into position and sort of getting her ready to be like woven up into like a cocoon type thing. So basically the story to this illustration is this young lady was in her home. For some reason, these spiders have targeted her. Maybe she did something wrong. Maybe she stepped on one of their ancestors. you just don't know. Like maybe it was a brother or a sister or a mother or father, and she's like killed the spider that's gotten into her house, and then all these ones have just come in for revenge. And then what they've done is they've come in, like, look at the size of these things. Could you imagine a spider in this like day and age, on this, you know, in reality, the size of that? I don't think anyone would leave the house, to be completely honest with you. Like, that is some terrifying shit right there. So they've come in, they've gotten her, they've bitten her. She's full of venom, which is what's happening to her right now. She's not quite dead, but she's getting there. She's full of venom. She's gone blue in the fingertips. She's gone blue around the mouth, blue in certain sections on her neck, like, because she's just slowly getting consumed by this venom. And she's sort of paralyzed a little bit and sort of bleeding internally now. So that's why there's a lot of blood coming from her eyes and coming from her mouth. So she's kind of like got this, internal hemorrhaging. And then you've got like some spiders still sort of, you know, pumping her full of venom. Then you've got the one down on the left bottom, sort of ripping her leg apart, sort of like gnawing on it and sort of ripping certain limbs apart. Then you've got the one up the top, which I call the king of them all, like the leader of the spider pack. He's basically chopped off her arms to pull it apart, and now he's sort of dragging the body by her mouth to sort of get her into position, like I said before. Then you've got the one up in the top left, which is coming in and has got hold of her hands. So basically they're ready to push her into position so she can be cocooned quite easily. And then they're going to have a little merry old feast. How about that for a disturbing story? All that from a prompt that said, what did the prompt say now? A room filling up with spiders. And that's what I came up with, is this. I'm not mentally right, am I? That's okay. You guys knew that, so we'll move on. I was a little bit iffy with her hair. I'm not one for doing hair at all, which once again I've mentioned in several previous videos. It's one thing that I do need to work on a bit, but I don't work on it as much as I would like to, because I don't usually do normal human beings. It's something that doesn't, I don't know, it's something I'm not really interested in. If they're sort of like a bit mutated, not a problem. But if they're like a normal human being, yeah, it gets a little tricky for me. I try my best though, but yeah, it's just not something that I'm willing to sort of spend a huge amount of time on, even though I should, because it is like a base for doing a lot of things, which I will touch in a future video on like techniques and stuff on how I, you know, do a lot of things. But I generally just jump straight in now and just go straight for, you know, modifying everything straight away, if that makes sense. Anyway, once again, it'll make sense in the future when I explain it a little bit better. I really did struggle with a little bit of her proportions. I know her proportions aren't sort of the best, and I sort of realized that I don't know if I've made her hips and pelvis area big enough or long enough. I'm not too sure. I know she looks like she's got a pretty big upper and her head's quite huge, but I like to make huge heads on things, even when I am trying to draw an in proportion human. There's just something not normal about it, which I like to do. Like this sort of art reality that I live in, even though I like to try and create like normal looking human beings, I also like to create like this being that is sort of, how can I explain it? They're human, but they kind of have elements of not being human. So I like to draw things that are probably like not normal for this world, if that makes sense. But it could be like normal in another reality. Oh, I can't explain myself. Like, I know how I feel in my head, and I know what I mean, but I can't get the words out. But in other words, I don't like doing things normally. I like to have a twist of normal with a little bit of not really sort of normal. I'm gonna move on because once again, I've really been struggling to make sense with my words. This was an enjoyable piece to work on. I worked on this piece over 3 days when I could. And yeah, I really wanted to make sure that it was like the best piece that I could, you know, put out, because I really enjoyed this one, and I will have this as a print on my Redbubble store when I get around to it. Hopefully it won't be too long after this video is released that I will have it up on there if you're interested in buying it. If you're a totally non-arachnophobic person, that would be ideal for you to have this piece if you like it. I've used, not only did I use watercolors in this, but as you know, as I've talked about it, I have gotten into some coloring pencils again, putting that down as shading and whatnot. And then I actually used gouache in this piece as well. And I used gouache on the spider's webbing. So what I actually did, which I'm not up to yet in the video that you are currently watching right now, I did some sort of like webs all over their feet, their legs, I should say. And I tried initially to do that with white gel pen, and it sort of didn't stand out as much as I wanted it to. So I ended up thinking, well, what the hell am I going to use? And I looked at my Posca. I've got 2 white Posca pens, but then the nibs on them are not very, they're not very thin. And I just sort of thought, oh shit, what am I going to do? So I ended up having a white gouache, and I pulled that out of the packet that I had, and I ended up using a rigger paintbrush, which I have never used. It's a Montmartre one, and you'll see it. I do actually show it at the end of this, not the end, but it's coming up soon, where I show you the rigger paintbrush. And because what it is, it's a really long brush, but it's very thin, so it's really good for doing details and whatnot. So I ended up using that and dipping it into some white gouache, and just doing some really thin webbing across all their legs, so it stood out, and it was really good. So yeah, I was happy with that, with how that came out. But all in all, I really enjoyed doing this. Yeah, this is probably one of the better ones that I've done in a long time. Again, like I said, because I've cut down my videos to one day a week now, I can really spend time on doing these pieces, and that makes me very happy. So I'm gonna concrete again in that, yeah, I'm going to keep the 1 day a week video. I'm not gonna go back to 2 days a week unless it's Inktober. Inktober's the only time I will open up that Thursday and pump videos out for that month. That's it. I'm not coming back more than 1 day a week now for the foreseeable future, and pretty confident that's not going to happen. So I'm just too busy with my job, running the blind cleaning side of my partner's business, and sort of doing stuff for him that I've been neglecting. Yeah, I can't open it back up again, unfortunately, that Thursday. So yeah, it's just going to be Sundays. But I do want to ask, like, are you guys happy with me uploading on a Sunday? Is there another day that you prefer me to upload on, seeing that it's going to be sort of set in concrete now that I'm only going to do 1 day a week. Are you happy with Sunday? Well, it's Sunday for me here in Australia, but it's probably Saturday for most of you guys out there. So just let me know in the comment section if you're happy with me uploading on a Saturday/Sunday, or if you want me to move it to another day that's sort of maybe more better. Like I'm open to it. Yeah, the only reason why I do it on a Sunday is the fact that I have all week to do a video, and then I can just sort of sit back and, you know, wait for it to be uploaded on the Sunday. Yeah, that's probably, that's all. That's the only reason why that I do it that way. So yeah, finishing up this piece now with the gouache, and that is my final disturbing illustration from the art prompt, A Room Filling Up with Spiders. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Definitely check out the app. They're really good. They just help art blocks. So yeah, I'm out of here, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.